Houston, we got a problem. Our bunnies are doing well. You okay there, Elsa? They were bred a couple days ago, so by our new sire. So in about a month, we're expecting baby bunnies. Oh, come on, Anna. What was that about? Anna just tipped over her water. So down here is where we are collecting all of their manure. And then when we get our raised beds in, we'll scoop this up and put it directly in the raised beds. So right now you see a mess as we're still working on projects. We have to paint this trim. And we have kid toys literally everywhere. We're still cleaning up stuff that was in the house. So there's been a lot of work done, but a lot of work still needs to happen. But eventually right here, we're going to be putting our raised beds. The goal is just to kind of be able to walk out and harvest directly food from our garden into our kitchen. So for the past month and a half, we have gotten absolutely no rain on our homestead. Actually, in our area. Most of Tennessee is in drought conditions, unfortunately just due to the lack of rain. We've had plenty of clouds, we've had our thunderstorms, but just no rain. Believe it or not, you can have thunder and no rain. What was that, dry lightning or something? So normally, if you're in a drought, it's like, okay, I just don't water my grass a lot. That's not a big deal. But if you're in a homestead, that is a big deal because you have animals that need that grass to sustain themselves. So in our case, we have grazing pigs, which are kunukinus. We have a flock of sheep, and we have bunny rabbits. Thankfully, our bunny rabbits are in cages, and so that helps mitigate some of the demand on our land. Our kunis, they're small enough that we can keep them moving. Hey pigs, let's check these pigs out. So this one was the one with no name. We decided on calling her Echo. She is our big girl.
Are you watching the sets?
Here comes Princess.
Where are they?
Onion right there is hanging out next to Echo, headbutting her. But even they are showing signs of needing more pasture because they're starting to tear up the ground because it's just so dry. That leaves our sheep, and our sheep have been really feeling it. Not only are they adapting to a whole new climate, they're adapting to a different type of grass. So in Michigan, we had rain pretty much every other day to a point our sheep could not keep up with our acre and a half. And in the case up here, we've mowed once when we first got here, and that was just to can't keep the grass short, keep the snakes away, and that's it. We've had half an inch in the past month and a half, so nothing has grown. We moved sheep over it, and we've had to water it just to kind of replenish that grass. We have grass that hasn't been used for feed at all, so it's something that we have to grow, we have to develop. So this is a field we haven't been watering, we've just kind of left it as is. You can tell it's starting to come back. We've added organic compost, aka sheep poop. And then, of course, the hay that we let them kind of scatter around. We're letting the seeds from that hay kind of fall down and seed this area. But this is kind of what it looks like without watering. And they haven't been here for a couple of weeks. And this is all the growth that's come back. To respond to this crisis, we've been having to add organic matter to this clay soil. So our soil's that beautiful red color. Unfortunately, it does not grow things very well. It does hold moisture very well, which is good in a drier climate. But we need to add some organic material on top so that our plants can actually develop some roots. That is where we are, and it's going to take some time. Even though right now what we're doing is adding organic matter by adding the hay on top, fertilizing it with the sheep poop, and then doing some light watering on top while we're getting through this drought. The effects aren't going to be seen immediately, probably not until like earliest next year, but not even until the year after that. So one thing thinking back on our old homesteads, before we added a large animal, we had free-range birds for about 2 to 3 years prior. We haven't been able to run birds across this to add any form of nitrogen to the soil to start kind of that soil top layer building. Because of that, now we're kind of playing catch up, and we're trying to do this while having large grazing animals. And when you have large grazing animals, you can't run them over the same soil again and again. So we can't, even though that front yard is looking pretty good, we can't stick them there until 60 days. And that's due to the parasite cycle. We don't want our animals getting reinfected with their own parasites. It's just gonna make them sick. But our sheep need grass now. And we have about the same amount of cleared acreage available to us as we do when we up north. Now in the future we can have more, but until then it's about the same. And the reason is because we had a tornado go through it and wipe out a lot of trees. As you can see behind me, this was a tree that was completely uprooted with that tornado. I think when Cody looked it up, it was like a category 2 or 3. It was very devastating to this area. And so we have a lot of cleanup to do to open up this pasture for our sheep and then to start growing grass. In permaculture, the solution is often the problem. We're looking at it, what's our problem? Our problem is our sheep. They don't have enough food to eat. So how can we use our sheep to make sure they get more food for themselves? Hey sheep! Hey sheep! So like we said before, the problem is often the solution. And so what we did is we need to clear out this area with all its wilderness. And so we moved our sheep down here to help us clear that out. Same way, they get grass, they get food to eat. We are tapping into the Dorper's hardy genetics. So the Dorper breed originates from South Africa. And in South Africa, they have very sandy, some areas very clay soil. It's very sparse, and so the Dorper sheep has evolved to be a grazer. Not only are they very temperature hardy for cold and hot, they are like goats and they just kind of graze through things. They don't need that meadow, that pasture. Ours have been used to pasture, so this is an adjustment for them, but we are going to be trying to tap into their ability to live off a harsher climate. All right, so I'm going to try and get into this as gracefully as possible with a baby on my hip. It is mating season, so we'll see how far I can stay in here without the rams getting feisty. So we'll just kind of walk through their paddock right here of what they have to work with. Now they're hanging out in the shady section. They have a lot of shade, as you can tell. Looks like they've kind of burrowed in a bit. So we have no fence on this side right now because it's all trees. And it's trees that we have to clear out, cut down, and move out. Now we've been noticing that our sheep have been eating the low branches, they've been eating the grass or the leaves from the branches, and so we're hoping that they can kind of get in here and clear out some of this foliage for us. It's going to be like our winter project to help clean out the rest. So far they haven't ventured that far down. They have a pretty wide paddock to explore from and to work with. So I'm keeping my eyes out because it's also snake season. Apparently it's copperhead season. They have a season where you just expect to see them. Hey sheep, come on sheep! Yeah, if you look behind me, all that's long grass. But it is sparse, like as you can tell, it's super sparse. This was cleared at one point too, so you see residue of clear cutting or logging. We're just not sure what all exactly happened. Ouch. It's a little bit more awkward for me to hold, but my other arm holds her better, and she's a priority. All right, here, sheep. They're starting to venture down a little bit. So all of these plants you see right here, we're hoping that they can kind of clear out and start eating. We're not too concerned about them escaping really, because it's pretty well packed, and if they do, then we have acreage that goes that way, so they're escaping onto our land. They always find their way back to the house. Hey, look what they found. Yeah, you guys were hungry, you just had to come down here. So as you can see, Godiva right there, she is eating this bush. You hope. No, Ramses. No. Hi, Oyster. I gotta watch out for Oyster. He has these wicked horns that will cut you. He's cut Ramses, and Ramses has been a jerk. So. Hey! Alright, I gotta go, y'all. Yeah, I'm nervous because I have my daughter with me. So apparently we just have to walk back there and then they can eat all the grass that they want. Oyster's been a hard lesson for us. We know they all grow up and they get super big, and that lovable lamb that you once had isn't the same lovable lamb. And you always hope that it's different because you hear those one-off stories. It's not. So that is our hope, is that our sheep are going to be able to clear that away for us, and we're going to be able to hopefully make it easier for this winter when we get down there to start clearing off more pasture. Our hope is to be able to clear off the front 5 acres, so we could use that as pasture and rotate animals through. The back 5 we're gonna kind of have go wild, so to speak, and eventually do more permaculture forests. But that right now we just gotta clear off land. We gotta get more land usable for our animals, and so it's been our priority. So thank you guys so much for joining us with this little quick update. If you could please say a prayer for Tennessee that we get some rain. Lord knows we need it. But thank you so much for watching. Till next time, y'all. Take care. Bye-bye.